Hello Port fans, welcome back to another video on the channel. It is very early morning on Monday the 3rd of October, the start of the 2022 AFL trade period is about to get underway, and it is very early morning. Just going to do this before work because I know a lot of things are going to be happening over the next 10 days or so, and I thought, well, let's do a quick update on the things to come. And the major breaking news overnight is Jason Horne-Francis has requested a trade to Port Adelaide. That's right, the 2021 number one draft pick, Jason Horne-Francis from North Melbourne, has requested a trade home to Port Adelaide, and it's going to be one of the biggest deals of this trade period, late at night on a Sunday, the night before the trade period gets underway. And we get that thrown in our face, and let me tell you, my hungover self was thinking, I just want to go to bed, but the heart rate was fully up, and it's very exciting. It's very different to the kind of thing we're normally doing. We're normally going after players that don't really get an opportunity or looking to find a second home. And Jason Horne-Francis fits that part of the category where it's he's looking to find a new home. But after a year in the system, look, it's a very good outcome, I think, for Port Adelaide in terms of the player capability that he is. Obviously, he has his attitudinal issues, and that's been very much questioned by the media and the football club. But North Melbourne as well will be looking to get that adjusted as well, and I think they'll be trying to find the best deal they can possible out of this. And look, we're going to have to deal. We're going to have to spend some cash, and look, that's what an investment is. And Port fans, if you think you're going to try and get away cheaply with this one, just have a sense of occasion. This was a 2021 number one draft pick, and after 1 year he wants to go home. We're going to have to spend mega bucks, and at the very minimum, this is going to be a pick 8, our first round pick this year, and the second, our future first pick for next year as well, and that's at a minimum. I think pick 8 is quite low for a first rounder for North Melbourne in terms of what they want for Jason Horne-Francis, and I don't think he's shown anywhere near the capabilities he's got in the AFL in terms of that. He's shown what a pick 1 is. I think there's been players that were a lot better last year to showcase that. Obviously, the Dacos boys have shown that over the last few years as well. But I think Jason Horne-Francis overall is a massive get. Port Adelaide, if they can get the job done here with the trade. And I think this will be one of those deals where they get it done on the last day, see how everything else plays out. And I think you'll be finding Port Adelaide will get deals done early to make sure they either sacrifice certain things or players get done and unlikely trades happen. It's going to continue to roll. Obviously got pick 27 for the compensation for Carl Amon, which again is quite low. That could be used in this deal. I do think that 27 goes to West Coast for Rioli. But if I'm absolutely honest, Port Adelaide should be putting that on the back burner and purely focusing on getting Jason Horne-Francis done. And whatever leftovers we have, throw it away at Rioli. That's fine. The draft is going to be compromised for us for this year, and I'm pretty acceptable of that. I think we've gone heavy in the draft since 2019. We've got some great players. We've got the likes of obviously Rosie Riders, Dersma, Marshall, Power Pepper in 2017, and Josh Sin last year was our first round pick. Didn't get a real crack last year because of injuries as such. So this is an opportunity for Port Adelaide to go aggressive at players, and I think you've got to be aggressive at the trade period to get players into your club, but also you've got to be aggressive enough to say, hey, certain players on our list aren't just going to do enough to stay on there, and unfortunately we're going to look to sacrifice your careers at Port Adelaide and throw you at another club. And look, the likes of Riley Bonner, their names have been popped up. Miles Bergman, look, I don't want to lose Miles, but he could be something of an option to be used in the Jason Horne-Francis trade. I do think that name, especially with the Bergman name at North Melbourne as well, and we have heard rumours that Bergman does want to go home or is looking to go home. So he's obviously linked to Port Adelaide to stay at this stage, but I wouldn't be surprised if his name is thrown into the ring of this trade. Also, Georgiades, I don't want to see that happen, but obviously that's another opportunity that could be something that we look at, and I don't want to. But I think overall that if you're looking at these types of deals, you got to sacrifice a lot to be getting what you want. And Georgiades is definitely not something I'd give away, and I'd hate to see that. But I'm just throwing it out there that if you saw this happen, it's something of the strategy that you definitely think is an out there perspective that Port Adelaide are going to use in this trade period. It is, on the other hand, very positive. I love the mindset change of the Port fans last night. You see this deal break, and you've seen the negativity that Dunkley and Graham got when they've chosen to stay at Richmond as Graham did, and he doesn't want to come to Port Adelaide, and then Dunkley chose Brisbane over Port Adelaide, and you're just thinking, far out, we're going to catch a break here. We're going to end up going out of this trade period acting all big and tough and saying, we're going to be aggressive, and we come out with Rioli and maybe a couple of draft picks. But now you come out with Jason Horne-Francis, you come out with Rioli, or you come out with something completely different. It's Radicali as well as being linked to Port Adelaide. That happened on Friday night. I'm just thinking, what name haven't we linked to at the moment? And I'll continue these videos on throughout the trade period. I'm very much excited to see how this all pans out. But I just thought a bit of an update, a bit of a thought process into what will happen in this trade period for the next 10 days. It's very crucial. Nothing's happened yet. I'm not going to be all critical of what needs to be done or anything like that until they actually happen, or if we've made the wrong choice. But it's definitely very exciting to be a Port fan in this trade period. A lot of people are going to be like, this is Port Adelaide don't need him, or this is not the way the things should be working in terms of a draft pick. I do agree with that. When then your number one pick, you go to North Melbourne, you spend a year there, and then you piss off. Kind of doesn't look good on the draft system, does it? Tom Boyd did the same thing. It's a very questionable act by Jason Horne-Francis. I'm not going to be questioning why he's leaving North Melbourne, because we've seen what's happening lately. The culture turmoil that's at North. They did pull Clarkson, but now we know what's happening with the previous Hawthorn years and the investigation there, and you don't know what's going to happen at North now, considering all these options are starting to fall apart. The dominoes are falling, and they're in a bit of strife again after a week of thinking, oh, here we go, we're going to have a great season with the new coach and everything like that. But that's not my position to comment on. That's obviously the reasons Jason Horne-Francis wants to leave, and coming home, he wants to be at Port Adelaide. The links with Fabian Francis, as a Port supporter growing up, it's a feel-good story in a sense that he wants to come to Port Adelaide in that aspect. Other aspects, you look at it and go, this is failing miserably. But you know what? I'm looking forward to it. See what happens in this trade period. Thank you for watching this video. I've got nothing more to say at this stage. Let me know your thoughts on the comments below of this topic. What's going to happen with Jason Horne-Francis? Other trade aspects that we could look at, and hopefully, this trade period we pull off everything we're talking about and come away pretty unscathed in terms of how big we do or how big we trade. So looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way across the trade period and the draft for the rest of 2022. Check out Big Chuts Barbecue as well. Massive fans of the channel, and very much supporting a very, very good TikTok channel, and also massive barbecue fan in Cale Hutchings, so make sure you check that out as well. And the vlog of the AFLW showdown is coming out as well this afternoon on Monday, so look out for that. A very special vlog presented by the Inner Sanctum and the Pair, the crossover you've always wanted to see. A few of the gang at the Inner Sanctum came over to watch the AFLW showdown, and it was just such a special night, even though the girls didn't quite do as we would have thought, or the result wasn't that great. So make sure you check that out. Anyway, that'll be out this afternoon, and we'll see you across the trade period. It's going to be absolutely hectic. My name's Anthony, and as always, calm Jason Horne-Francis home.